volume good? Yeah, I think it's good. Alright. Divergent universe reset so I can at least milk like 20 or 30 minutes in a stream without walking around doing nothing. I didn't even play the game yesterday. I was so tired after New Year's party. I absolutely despise being in crowded places or like loud music. It really hurts my head. Hello? Hello, Vix. Hello, ASAP. Hello, Abby. Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. My headache feels better after yesterday, so I don't really have a problem making a short stream right now. Oh, this unlocks as well. This is gonna be more of a chill stream. There isn't any leaks, I think. Actually, I saw Tribby's leaked kit changed. So instead of action advance, in my opinion, she might get something more broken. Apparently, the action advance was replaced with doing damage. So she's a Harmony who can do damage. Similar to like how Ling Sha can be like a DPS if you like build her correctly and have a certain comp, which is really interesting. You could probably run quad Harmony and make Tribby a DPS, which is kind of funny. I can't wait. I'm going for a Ling Sha, then I'm saving for Casterus. That's what I've recommended to a lot of people. Ling Sha is looking like the best overall value in the 3.0 reruns. And you could argue Robin is above, right? I'm not going to argue that. Like, Robin is a really, really good Harmony, right? But at the end of the day, just go with whoever's more important to you. If you want to go for the HP scaling comp, I'd always recommend Ling Sha. If you don't care about the HP scaling comp, go for Robin. Free ass Jades. I love events like these. They are so much easier. Wait, I just realized there's no voice lines. Is that a bug? I don't think I have zero. Is that a bug? Is it a bug that I can't hear March's voice lines, or is that like part of the what's it called? That strike that the voice actors were going on? Do you think Aglia is going to fall off? I do. For the simple fact that she's the first of her path. Those are like the worst types of characters to like heavily invest into, cuz it's always like I mean always, right? Like if you look at Hoyo patterns, very very high chance that the next Remembrance DPS ends up power creeping her, which cough cough, cough cough, the next Remembrance DPS is Casterus. So do keep that in mind. She's still very strong. I have no doubt if you pulled the Glea right now and you had her optimal team, she'd probably last you the entirety of the 3.x patches. So just go for whoever you want more. However, in terms of like value, she's going to be instantly power crept by the next Remembrance DPS. I see. Who are you pulling, Gabi? I think I'm gonna skip 3.0 and go straight for my day. Because I really, and I mean really want my day. Not only was the drip market good, but in the recent trailer they released, we actually got like a few seconds of his in-game model, and it looks a lot better than I thought it'd look. So I'm going for my day. So I'm not even worried about the 3.0 banners anymore. But anyone going for like teams during the 3.0 banners is for sure gonna have a harder time choosing. Fucking hell. I hope we get at least 80 pulls for 3.0. Apparently, it's around 107. But I think with the live stream giving an extra 10 pulls, it's 117 maybe. Free to play pulls. It honestly, like, it does sound like a lot, but it really isn't when you have 8 characters running on the exact same patch. I think it's only like 10 more, maybe, than the current patch. I don't know. It's not anything great, though. Oh, wait, that was a res pen, but fuck. I agree about the model. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I was expecting another Casterus situation where the 2D art in the drip market, like, it's not as good as the in-game model. But from what I saw, at least, like in that trailer, his in-game model looks perfect. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I thought I would hate using Sunday, but he's actually pretty good. He gives more crit damage and advances you and gives a skill point. Oh yeah, Sunday's very, very powerful. I don't know why. Like, people heard about Tribby possibly giving action advance and they're like, oh my god, Sunday, why'd I pull Sunday? Sunday's still gonna be incredibly strong no matter what. Like, people need to remember that these are harmonies we're talking about. Like, even Sparkle, who got directly power crept, she is still a good addition to, like, most teams anyways. Not the best by any means, but a good addition. Pull value and how effective a character is don't really match up against each other well. Um, I don't have a single. I just don't care for this. I really don't. Can I get? There we go. Mm-hmm. Just don't care. Seriously, bro. I'll use this one. Then level these ones up. Is the Herda worth it? Do you think she will fall off? No. I don't think the Herda will fall off. It's just not happening. Oh, I'm gonna be like, Herda is gonna last the entirety of 3.x. She still needs a best in slot erudition. She still needs a best in slot harmony. And even without those two things, she's still a top 5, top 3 DPS in the game. Right? Like, she's just not going anywhere for a while. Like, you have to think of Herda as similar to Acheron in a way. Acheron came out, she was really, really strong, but even then she didn't have like best in slot teammates that could take full advantage of her. Just look at how much of a big difference Zhao Q made when he released. Herda will probably get something similar. So Herda, oh wait, I already read that. Is a Gleo worth it if you don't have Huo Huo? From what I've seen, she can still work without Huo Huo if you have Sunday. However, if you don't have both of them, please don't pull a Gleo. But you need at least one of the two to actually make her at least perform semi-optimally. From what I've seen. Is this? It is. I don't really care about any of that. I'm skipping trivia. I'll pull her on a rerun. Yeah, that's probably a good thing to do. I mean, I recommended the same for what's it called? Sunday. Like, with all these triple rerun banners come out, if they do make it a consistent thing, then it is possible that Tribi just reruns in 3 patches, like all these other characters are. Like, Fei Xiao got reran in 3 patches, Ling Sha got reran in 3 patches. A lot of characters are starting to be reran in 3 patches. Like, I saw people saying that reruns are never worth pulling for in my comments for my last video. But honestly, if they do make the triple rerun banners a consistent thing, I don't agree anymore. Like, let's say Acheron. It took Acheron 5 patches to get reran. And it took Firefly 4. So obviously more time has passed, meaning their value has dropped. However, a lot of characters at this point are being reran after only 3 patches, which means their value doesn't drop off as much even after their first rerun. So these days, if they keep doing this, it might be fine to just like pull reruns, in my opinion. Like, I don't think the old way of thinking of, oh, you don't never pull for a rerun no matter what unless it's a meta harmony. Like, if they keep doing this, I just don't agree with that anymore. They really put DDD on Aglaya? Yeah, a lot of people are looking at the Lycombe banner only because of DDD. I'm gonna be honest though, I just don't think it's worth it. Unless you're already planning on pulling the Lycone for Aglaya, I still don't think it's worth it.
Hedge your bets. The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it off.
Got my face out at 100, 120 at the moment, but I have a crit damage to help get 78, 167, which is better. 100, 120 in my opinion is probably better. Having that 100% crit rate is always like, you know how much damage you're going to do no matter what. Like, you don't have to rely on luck. And knowing this game, 78, 167 might as well be like 50, 167. Like, you'll always get no crits at the worst of times.
Watch your head.
Fangs and claws got dull.
Reruns are killing me, man. Yeah, it's killing a lot of people. Luckily, I don't give a shit anymore because of my day. But I would have been in the trenches trying to think up a poll plan if it weren't for my day. People accept Hoyo to power creeping everything in 1 month. Yeah, people need to understand that, like, power creep is called power creep, right? It's slow and steady, but over time, its effects are large, right? That's what power creep is. So even if a new DPS is like 10, 20% stronger than the previous one, it doesn't matter because the previous one is still going to clear shit just fine. It's only once the enemies become scaled to future really strong DPSs that you start to realize the older characters falling off. Like, you guys have to think about it, right? Acheron can still zero cycle. I've seen a 3-cost E0 S0 Firefly zero cycle. And we're going to 3.0. She released in 2.3. That's nearly 7 patches ago. And she's still zero cycling MOC. Like, you really have to think about stuff like that.
No dirty tricks.
Listen to the final song of life. Resonate all together.
Show me what you can do.
Power creep is a gradual thing that happens slowly over time. You're not going to pull Aglaya right now and then 2 patches later be like, oh my god, this girl's fucking useless. I can't clear anything with her. Like, no, Castress will for sure be stronger, but she'll still be able to clear all the endgame content just fine. I heard that Amphorius has 8 chapters. That's more than Penacony. Yeah, apparently from what I think I've heard, Amphorius is going to last the entirety of the 3.x patches. I think Penacony lasted like 4 patches, I think. But maybe 3? I'll remember. I think it's 4 patches for Penacony. But apparently Amphorius is going to be like the entirety of 3.x. Which I'm glad they're doing. I'm not going to lie. I think making one planet for an entire like arc of patches makes a lot more sense than going to a planet for like half and then going back to another planet and then going back to another planet and then making a new planet. Like, I'd much rather a bigger overall story, which I hope they continue to do. That's more of a personal thing though. I think most people might not care about that. Because going back to an old planet is just boring, I'm not gonna lie.
Fangs and claws.
This one. This shit is useless, man. My goodness. Oh my goodness, Gamba. Give me follow up. Oh my god. 500k. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, obviously I'll gamble. You really don't lose out on like all that much. Like I think at most, if you're the most like unlucky in that thing, you get half of the original jades. If you hit even 10%, you obviously make more jades back. So I think overall it just like everyone should probably just do the gamba on that. Like you don't really have anything to lose. At max you might lose like 2 pulls overall and that's it. 500k jades is gnarly though. Knowing Hoyo, I was confident that the most they'd ever do for something like that is like 50k. Like 500k jades is pretty crazy.
Oh, come on! Let me fight. Here you go, Master. I hope Rerun to show you what I can reach. Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Bliss Card, Wasp, yes! Harmony and unison.
You're falling fearless without fear.
You will be the one who gets 500k jades? I wish. I wish. But knowing my luck with all my 50-50 and 75-25 losses, probably not.
Awesome! You'll make good practice.
Fangs and claws never escape.
I love how easy Divergent Universe is. It's just... My goodness. Actually, why don't I just put this on auto? Make my life easier. How do you participate? I have zero clue. Free to play Firefly as in no premium support or free to play Herda? Free to play Herda. Free to play Herda for sure. Firefly has easier time in terms of relic investment, but in terms of team cost, Herda is better than Firefly in my opinion. Nice, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Come on, give me another one. Aw. Yeah, it's good enough. Anything Nihility related, I want gone. Nice, that's perfect.
The show begins.
If a streamer wins, I'm unsubbing and reporting. Hey, I'd be pissed too. That's a lot. Like 3,000 pulls? That's like a shit ton of money, no? That's like in the thousands.
Here you go, Master.
The dice have been cast.
If not more. That might be in like 10,000 territory.
Watch your head.
Anybody who wins that shit will be set. Like, you could grab E2S1 of like every new character for like the entirety of the 3.x patches. Probably without an issue. I'm not sure how it works though, because they said only 20 people will win. So there's probably like a fixed chance.
Or maybe I'll take it off. Watch your head.
No, no, shame. Whoa, so high. Let me show. The Robin brain rot has gone to me at this point.
I venture for forever. Triumphant!
Get E6 S5 Robin if you get 500k Jades. Maybe. I even with 500k Jades, I'd still feel like shit going for an E6 S5. Like, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Going for E6 S5s, like, my goodness, bro. My goodness. Characters following the paths of destruction. I don't have any of those, bro. Lightning or ice, I also don't have any of those. Nihility, I don't have any of those. Like, fuck me, man. Oh. I don't give a shit about max HP, bro. I just don't give a shit. I am not dying in Divergent Universe. If I was Elon, all my characters would be E6 S5. Well, yeah, once you reach that level of rich, it's like shit like that doesn't even matter no more.
Show me what you can do. I'll give you 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Shane. Like, I understand. I think it's illegal, right? But just, like, I'd rather someone just use a private server, bro. Like, genuinely. Like, if you really think about it, you can emulate every single in-game fight of the original game into a private server. And just play with the characters yourselves and that shit. Like, you can't exactly flex it, because it's not real. But if you don't care about flexing and just want to, like, try E6 S5 characters, a private server is probably just a way better option. Someone's gonna hit low and probably start making 20 accounts so they can win. Oh yeah, there'll probably be like a lot of people botting that shit. Yeah, I'd rather just get new characters / lycones. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. Like, it's just way better to just save it for, like, all the patches. I mean, that's considering someone's account doesn't just get straight up fucking hijacked after they win that shit. There are some people out there devious enough. It is worth, like, thousands and thousands.
The dice have been cast. Or maybe I'll take it off.
I bought the battle pass today, by the way. So I did get an extra 10 pulls out of that.
Thanks, Claw got those.
Because after the 3.0 banners, I realized there's a decent chance we get another triple rerun banner during Casterus this patch. So if Sunday ends up being good with Casterus, I would run into big problems. So I bought the battle pass.
Hedge your bets.
Holy gameplay? Yeah, this is the craziest gameplay, honestly. In fairness, I did hit a 0 cycle on MOC second try the last stream. But it was a bit unrelatable with an E1S1 May, so yeah. I'm by no means like a pro gamer in this shit in the slightest. I low-key just like chilling and talking about like value of characters on an account. I feel like I could definitely learn speed tuning and how to play this game better, but I'm just so lazy, man. I'm so focused on Fortnite that I just don't want to focus on 2 games like a lot at the same time. Like, this is more of a casual game, so I can just be casual with my opinions as well. I wasn't prepared to see you not walking around. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, that's actually the only reason I even turned on the stream. Was because I realized Divergent Universe got a reset. so I could actually like do real combat without just walking around with HMC. Well, yeah, that's true, Flogon, but the problem is you then have like a new harmony that comes out, because you have to keep in mind Robin's a pretty old harmony at this point. We're about to go to the 3.0 and she released in I think like 2.2. I think she released 2.2, right? So like there's most definitely going to be at some point in the 3.x patches probably a harmony who's just better to invest in than Robin. That's why going for E6 S5s is always like terrible to me. Like in my opinion, something I've at least noticed with the DPSs, a lot of E2 S1 new DPSs are stronger than old E6 S5 ones. Like this was the case with Acheron in my opinion, especially with after Jiaoqi's release. Like I'd take an E2 S1 Acheron with Jiaoqi over Dill. Unless Dill also has E6 S5 supports. So going for E6 S5 is always like stupid to me. I think E2 S1 just makes way more sense. That is if you are going to whale. Come on, give me some follow-up ones. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. Let me try to get another follow-up. I don't give a shit about grit, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I guess. I guess. Please give me the other follow-up one, please. Oh my goodness. Fuck, it's whatever. There we go. There we go. Oh. Yay, time to absolutely shred. Is this 4? Yeah, it is. Lost 50-50 on Sit Lolly banner. Then I won the uninstall button. Who's Sit Lolly or Sit Lally?
Fangs and claws got dull.
The one not. Oh, it's Genshin. Oh, I see. Gabby, did you see that they are adding Miku in Fortnite? No, I didn't. I'm deleting Genshin Impact. I can't handle 2 banners. Tribby's looking kind of crazy. Yeah, I saw the new Tribby leaks. She could possibly be really strong. Are you implying that I shouldn't get Robin? No, by no means. I was talking about person in chat was talking about going for E6 S5 Robin. Like hell no. I think E1 S1, E2 S1 just overall makes way more sense on characters. Also, why not just go E6 S1? Most if not all signature. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing, Mariah, for sure. Like the other 4 copies of a Lycone, usually all they do is make relic investment easier, right? Like there's always a main stat on the Lycone that increases the more copies you have. Like that's the only thing it really does. It's like a stat stick basically. Just going for copies of a signature Lycone most of the time. I want Castress E1 S1 when she reruns. I might get her E6. Jeez. I mean, go for it, man. High likelihood that she's really, really strong. Me personally, though, I want Phanon. So I'm going My Day Castress comp, and then right after those two, I'm going straight for Phanon. Why are you laughing? We are getting the same feature soon? What, like the double banners in the thing? I mean, to be fair, Honkai Star Rail gets way more wishes than Genshin does, no? So having like a double banner in Genshin is actually dreadful. Like, I'm pretty sure Genshin gets like way less pulls than Honkai Star Rail does. E0 Tribi doing more damage than an E6 Seal? I don't know about that. According to the leaks from what I saw, she does do damage, but it isn't actually better than like old DPSs. According to the leakers, only E6 Tribi is the one who's as strong as like 1.x DPSs. So E0, she might not even do all that much damage. But still, a Harmony doing damage. You know, you could look at Link Shaw, maybe another Link Shaw situation. Sustain doing damage. Who knows, right? But I think they learned their lesson from Ling Shaw. I don't think they're going to make Tribi all that strong with damage. Like, it'll be a nice addition, but it won't be anything, like, significant if I had to guess. It's most likely just going to be her buffs that actually make her shine.
Short respite, then time for the next fight.
Give me those jades. Whoops. Welcome to my world. Alright, I'm at 61 pulls now. So I'll probably have like 70 when this patch ends. With 40 pity and a guarantee. I'm gonna get My Day so fucking easily. Jesus. I think by the time 3.1 rolls around and I actually wish, I'll probably have like over 200 pulls. Or like near 200 pulls. Picking her up exclusively because of my sustainless facial comp? Understandable. They get 58 pulls and HSR gets 110. Yeah, exactly. A double banner in Genshin is just way, way more deadly, bro. They barely get any fucking pulls over there. I'm thinking Phanon will be better for dual DPS with My Day than Casters and My Day just because I'm always seeing My Day and Phanon together. Maybe. I mean, they are both destruction. That is possible. Do one pull on Fugue Banner challenge? No. I'm just not doing it. It's such a bad idea. I don't want to do it. Like, even though I'm always unlucky and I always go to hard pity, I don't even want to take the slim chance I have of wasting a 40 pity guarantee on Fugue when I don't have a single break DPS on my entire account. I do not want to risk it, bro. A guarantee, like 40 pity itself is valuable, but a guarantee as well, like, I do not want to give that to Fugue. For sustains, the issue is they have to offer more than Gallagher to be worth pulling, so they kind of have to offer a lot more now. Yeah, Netherlord, that's actually a funny thing you bring up. Is it possible that the reason they're doing damn near zero sustains in the 3.x patches is because of Gallagher and Ling Shaw? Like, I feel like that's actually a possibility where they made Gallagher super strong and then made Ling Shaw even stronger above him. And they realize, like, oh shit, we have a sustain doing 0 cycles as the main DPS. Maybe we should chill on making new sustains because we can't make them stronger. Because, I've seen Ling Sha Jade combo and Apoc Shadow, bro, that shit is broken. Like it's actually crazy what a Ling Sha Jade combo can do in like Pure Fiction and Apoc Shadow against the TVs. I currently have 200 pulls and I'm still waiting for the Ruan Mei rerun. If I had to guess, Ruan Mei will probably rerun around 3.1, I think. I think that makes the most sense. 3.1, probably a Ruan Mei rerun. Yeah, exactly, Netherlord. Like, to make a sustain even stronger than Ling Sha would be a bit too much. We need 4-star preservation characters. Just use March 7th, bro. Just use 1.x March 7th. Didn't you guys see that free skin we're getting? Surely she's meta. I have a question regarding the character. Should I pull for Fei Xiao? If you like her, yeah. In terms of like value, pulling the Herda is better. But if you don't care about value and all you want to do is like clear the end game content with a character you like, Fei Xiao is still very meta. Like she's still top 1 in APOC, she's still top 1 in MOC. Fei Xiao's a good pull. With reruns rerunning so much earlier than usual, it's not as bad to pull a DPS on the rerun right now. Especially Fei Xiao. It's only been 3 patches since her release. March 7th skin would have been peak a year ago? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's a good thing it's at least free, right? So no one has to pay for that shit. But with the power creep in this game, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't pull skins just because they never use a character to begin with. Like, that actually makes sense. Like, I think if any of the characters should get skins in this game, it should be sustains. I think Aventurine and Ling Sha would be the most worth buying a skin for, since we're getting, like, damn near no sustains in 3.x. Like, they're going to continue to be T0 for a long time. Have you seen Fei Xiao's Remembrance LC? Nah, I haven't seen the stats on it. I like the new rerun system when they drop like 4 units that synergize with each other. I like it if they keep doing it, right? Like if this is a consistent thing, I'm 100% for it. Because it means we get reruns shorter in the long run. But if it isn't a consistent thing and just something they do every once in a while to give people FOMO so that they spend more money on the game, then I don't really fuck with it. Because then the timing for guessing when our character's rerun will come around goes to the absolute shithole. But if they keep doing it, like Robin, the last triple rerun banner we had was in 2.5, right? So 3 patches later, if they continue to do it every 2 to 3 patches, I'm fine with it, 100%. I think they give such a good event Lycone for My Day because they really want to make you pull him for Castris. Yeah, that's possible. I can't wait for My Day, man. I actually, like, I hate being patient. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really want to pull someone right now, but I just don't want to pull for someone I'm not even interested in. Like, right now, all my interest is in My Day, but he's so fucking far away. Like, he's 2 months away, guys. There's still 12 days left, so like 14 or 15 days till this banner ends and we go into 3.0. And then 3.0 is a month and a half. So 2 months until My Day comes. Actually, no. Triby's the first phase of fucking 3.1. So it's even longer than that. It's like nearly 3 months until My Day comes around. Oh, I hate waiting. Will you be rolling for the Herda or saving up for My Day? I'll be saving up for My Day. As a new player with only Sunday and Aventurine, Do I pull Herda or Glea? Uh, Herda. Honestly, whoever you want. I think I'd 100% recommend Herda over Glea. But if you like Glea more, pull for Glea. I don't think it's like that massive of a difference. Because you have Sunday. Sunday's like enough. You know what I'm saying? But Aventurine is also one of the best sustains for Herda as well. Because of the follow-ups. So do keep that in mind. You have a really good sustain for Herda, and you have a really good harmony for Aglaya. But I think Herda is the overall stronger pull. Aglaya, if you have Sunday, surely. The problem with saying Aglaya is that she's the first of her path, and Herda has more best in slots in the future coming out. Like you have Tribby, and she can easily get a new 5-star Air Edition that's best in slot with her. So that's the reason I say Herda. I think Herda would probably be more future proof. And even currently, I'd probably take Herda over Aglaya. You should pull Fei Xiao with Aventurine. He doesn't have Robin, though. So I wouldn't recommend it. He doesn't have Robin. If you get Herda, you are obligated to get Tribby. If you get a no, not really. I wouldn't say that. I don't think like Tribby will 100% probably be the best harmony for Herda, but from what I've seen so far, even without her best in slot team, Herda is still like in terms of overall value, probably the best DPS in the game. Like we're talking top 1 in Pure Fiction, top 3 or 4 in MOC at E0 S0, and like top 5 in APOC. And that's without best in slot harmony or best in slot like future Air Edition. I do think Tribby will for sure level her up, but I think you could like skip Tribby, wait for a Tribby rerun, and by then it'll actually be like a better overall pull. So you don't even have to like instantly get Tribby if you go for Herda, in my opinion. Casterus or Phanon? In terms of who I like more, Casterus. In terms of who I'm pulling over, Casterus. Only because of the Black Dragon, by the way. I said this in a previous stream, only because of the Black Dragon. Cracksman, I don't think so. With the new leaks for Tribby, she does not give action advance, but she actually does damage herself. However, from what I've seen, her damage isn't exactly significant. Like, it's good, right? But it isn't significant enough to value it over Robin's ult. It'll come down to what's more important, Tribby's buffs or Robin's action advance. That's really what it'll come down to. I'll sleep now. Good night, Flogon. Thanks for stopping by. When you say top, is it E0 or E6? What, like top overall DPS? I'm talking E0. I would never compare E6 DPSs. If we compare E6s, I think to many people's surprise, I'd put Jade as probably the number 1 E6 in the game right now. Because I see that woman doing millions of damage in follow-ups, and on top of that, she gives a buff to a main DPS as well. Like, E6 Jade is fucking something else. But in terms of just E0 S0 DPSs, Herda is easily like a top. Easily. Like top 3, top 1, top 5 in all line game modes. What's your take on Herda versus Fei Xiao pull value? I think Herda's better. All the 3.1 and 3.2 leaks change so much that I don't know if I believe any of them. I mean, you always have to take them with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, leaks are leaks. However, it doesn't really matter anyways, since the second 3.0 hits in like 14 or 15 days, we're going to have V1s for My Day and Tribby. So that's really all that matters, right? For now, it's mostly just speculation. 'Cause it's fun to speculate, right? It's fun to talk about how powerful a character may be and how powerful a character might be for someone's account, right? And that's why we always do like these speculation videos and talk about it. And then we end up seeing how they actually stack up when like the full leaks really come out. Yeah, exactly, Andrina. That's my plan right now. I want to get Castris and I want to get My Day. I honestly got lucky that My Day seems to end up being like a decent teammate for Castris because those are two of my favorite characters in the entirety of the patch. Like after My Day's drip market, I before I had Phanon over My Day, but now I have My Day over Phanon and Castris as my number one. So it's a win-win for me at the end of the day. I get both the characters I want to pull on the most. Okay, that's a bit no Shane. That's a bit wild though. There's no way Tribby has 50% res pen. There is zero way. I don't think people understand just how broken res pen is. 50% res pen would mean you'd get like a straight up 50% damage increase like across the board for your entire team. Like res pen is like a direct team increase. That is if like the res pen applies to like every ally on field. That's just way too broken. I think at most she might have like 12 to 16% res pen in her base kit. Something like that. And then the majority of her kit that's going to make her appealing is most likely her defense shred and damage bonus. Yeah, you guys need to remember, like, Robin's E1 is considered one of, if not the most broken E1 in the game when Sunday wasn't around, and it's only 24%. Imagine doubling this. It would be nasty. It would be absolutely nasty, especially considering that apparently Tribby does damage herself. If she applies Res Pen to herself, it's possible that she could do like 1.x DPS numbers. Rowan May has 20%, so it's fine if it's 20% too. Yeah, but you guys need to understand that like Res Pen isn't even like Tribby's only thing though. Like it's Res Pen, it's defense shred, and it's damage bonus. It's like three things at once. On top of the fact that she also does damage herself. Like that's already a mechanic that makes her like unique and more special than any Harmony in the game. Is the fact that she can actually do like a decent significant amount of damage. Like if we're being honest, it's most likely gonna be most of her kit is dedicated towards defense shred or damage bonus. Actually, I'm not sure. Probably damage bonus. Yeah, most of her kit will probably be targeted towards damage bonus. Probably the second most is defense shred, and then the third, which is the least that will likely get a buff, is res pen. If I had to guess, like in terms of just how rare and how valuable those buffs are, res pen is probably the number one most valuable. So she'll probably have the least of that. HMC can also deal a nice amount of damage. Yeah, it'll be good if like Tribby can do like even just as much as HMC can in his break comp, because HMC be doing like 100k every time he uses a skill. So if Tribby's the same, that's honestly nice. Of course, hopefully it's a bit stronger than HMC. That would be the best case scenario. Oh yeah, I think the most interesting thing about Tribby, if the current leaks are true, is that you could run quad harmony sustainless teams like without an issue, probably. Like you could run Tribby as like an actual DPS, which is really interesting. What's the Trivy's deal? I didn't keep up with her leaks. Her leaks have changed now, and instead of action advance, she does damage. However, every other part of her kit hasn't changed, I'm pretty sure. Like res pen, defense shred, damage bonus, none of that has changed. Only that she doesn't give action advance, but does damage instead. Apparently, every time she uses her skill is when she does damage. Where are Tribby leaks? I just saw them on Twitter from Razor_language. He isn't like a main leaker himself, but he usually talks about leaks and like mentions them from multiple different leakers at the same time. Yeah, as well as the Reddit. Yeah, the Reddit as well. Hawkeye Star Rail leaks as well. She might make Silverwolf usable again /S. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I can't believe like I don't know what goes through people's heads, right? Like I actually saw people because I watched a video from AX. I don't know if it's like AX or Ax, however you respond his channel name. And I went straight to the comments to see people's opinions because he made a video on 3.0 character value list. And I saw someone saying that they're pulling the only rerun they're pulling for is Silverwolf. Like I laughed, but like why, man? Like I always forget just how casual like players are in this game. There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? But it's like crazy to think because like I always think of playing characters from like a meta perspective, right? So watching people not take meta at all into account and pull like shitty old characters that they'll probably never use and they're breaking their account, it's like it's funny. It's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I pulled Jade for 4-star Herda. Now I'm in an absolute W. Nice, Abby. Isn't Tribby basically Silverwolf but Harmony, defense shred but Respen? I mean, I guess, yeah. Though, the only thing Silverwolf kind of has going for her is implant weakness. But then again, every single new DPS has ignore weakness these days. So it's like, who gives a shit? That's really what killed Silverwolf in the first place. I saw someone saying that Lingshaw is a bad pull for 3.0. I mean, I don't want to sound rude, but that's just a bad take. We're getting damn near 0 sustains in the entirety of 3.x. In my opinion, she is the most universal sustain in the entirety of the game. Like, you can put her in Aventurine's niche. You can't put Aventurine in Lingshaw's niche, which is break, right? So she's overall the best value sustain in the game. And this isn't even including the HP scaling DPSs we're going to get soon. So I think that's just a bad take. Like, it's just a really bad take. Lingshaw has been aging like absolute fine wine. She's also the best sustain for Herda, by the way. So the best sustain for Herda is as well Lingshaw. Yeah, but Ward, that doesn't really apply anymore. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Gallagher cannot heal anywhere near as much as Lingshaw. And Lingshaw needs significantly less skill points to actually heal in the first place. And on top of that, people like the Herda regenerates energy depending on how many mobs on field are hit. So that makes Ling Sha significantly more powerful than Gallagher in that comp in the first place. Because Fu Yuan and her E, they all hit like everything. Her ult hits everything, her skill hits everything, Fu Yuan hits everything. So you're regenerating energy like fucking crazy. And on top of that, you use Deck Collector on Ling Sha instead of Herda on a sustain team because she hits so often. So like before the argument that, oh, Gallagher's already good enough, it for sure used to apply like a lot more strongly. But with these upcoming HP scaling DPSs and Herda, there's people who are taking way better advantage of Ling Sha than they ever could of Gallagher. I'm not gonna lie. Tribi might make Woho better than Ling Sha for Herda because of the whole ult equals Tribi attack. Oh yeah, maybe. Wait, actually, is that how it works, Point? I assumed that what it meant was that whenever one of Tribi's allies used an ult, that she would attack. I thought that's what it said, and not that whenever she uses an ult, she attacks. Or is that not how it works? I guess that would make Wowo still... I mean... No, I don't know. Because you lose out on the amount of energy that's being regenerated. I don't know, honestly. What's your pull priority for the new limiteds? I'd recommend you go watch... Where is it? When did I make that 3.0? 3.0 leaked banners rip free to plays. It's a video I made like 8 days ago. And I think towards the end of the video, I make like an entire value list on my opinion on like the value list of the characters. If you want to know the top two, it's incredibly obvious. The top two is Ling Sha and Robin. And then the rest are just like whatever. Like you can pull for them if you want to. The reason I say that is that I really don't want to go into like a full value list right now. Do you think we'll get a Ho-Ho glow up in 3.x? It's possible. Like, it seems like a lot of the 3.x DPSs currently are becoming more reliant on, like, actual healing and not, like, shields. Like, preservation units. I think I'll pull Herda and put 40 pulls on Ling Sha's banner to see if I'm lucky. Hey, I wish you luck, man. I wish you luck. Yeah, that's understandable, JCOM. Yeah, exactly, Point. I truly don't know if Woho is better in that case. Because she for sure could be, right? But I just don't know if the lost, like, Fu Yuan follow-ups and shit from Ling Sha can be made up from, like, Tribi doing her attacks. Because in the first place, Ling Sha also does like a bit of decent damage. Like it's not anything significant, but once again, Ling Sha is the only person on the Herda team who can actually take full advantage of Jade's Deck Collector. So putting Ho-Ho in there, like Ho-Ho cannot take advantage of Jade's Deck Collector. So I guess if you don't have Jade, you can use Ho-Ho fine. But if you had Jade, I think Ling Sha would still be the better sustain possibly. Aglaya not being a standard unit is sad. Okay, let's all be honest here, okay? Why would they make Aglaya a standard unit in any world? Like, do you understand how stupid that would be? Like, E1 Aglaya is power creeping a lot of DPSs, like even top DPSs in the game right now. Because she loses, like when she gets her E1, she is way less reliant on having Sunday or Ho-Ho on her team. And she can actually keep ult times significantly easier. if they made her Eidolons and her Lycone being able to get it from the standard banner, bro, there's no way they're fucking doing that. Like, people would start doing a shit ton of account rerolls trying to get a Glea E1 or some shit. Like, it's just too broken. Yeah, but Ratio didn't get power crept until 2.5. And he released in 1.6. That's 6 patches later. Like, Ratio would make a lot more sense to go in the standard banner because of the fact that he was free and that he's not really all that of an important character these days. So if someone's not able to get Fei Xiao and they want to run a Fua team, they could possibly get Ratio in the standard banner. It actually makes sense. But Aglaia just does not make sense currently. Like, she's just too strong to be put on a standard banner, especially with her Eidolons and Lycone. Yeah, exactly. Point. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly, Zaire Strong. I don't see them making a standard banner remembrance for a while, right? Like, I think once we go into the 4.x patches, maybe, and we have characters who are way stronger than Aglaia, or at least significantly stronger than Aglaia, that's when I think Hoyo might not have an issue putting Aglaia in the standard banner anymore, right? But that's still like a whiles away. Like, you have to keep that in mind. That's like over a year away. And even then, it's a stretch. The anniversary, I think, is 3.2, which is Castrus's banner. Yeah, exactly, Netherlord. Like, the amount of account re-rolling that's going to be going on if they put Aglaia in the standard banner would be absolutely fucking insane. And every time someone loses a 50-50, they'll just be praying that they get Aglaia. Like, every single person. Which rope is better for the Herda, attack or ER? I think ER is probably better. Being able to constantly get that ult up like as often as possible probably has more value than attack. Yeah, exactly. Like, you have Yang Qing, Clara, Himiko, Welt, and then you just have fucking the nuke Aglaia in there. Like, the fucking scaling in the standard banner is completely off. Same JCOM. I'm most excited for 3.1 leaks over 3.0 leaks. Like, even though I'm really interested in My Day, and I obviously want him, I'm more curious just how strong they're going to make Casters. And what her optimal teams will be. I'm planning on getting the Herda with my guaranteed 20 pulls away. After that, I'm going for Link Shot, but if I get to 70 pulls again, stopping and going for My Day. Good plan. Yeah. I'd say it's a decent plan, yeah. I will say there is a decent chance that with all these HP scaling characters, we get another triple rerun banner in the future and Link Shaw's on it again, right? Because if there's anything we've learned from those triple rerun banners, is that they'll rerun characters who like fit the niche of the new character releasing. So I would not be surprised if there was another triple rerun banner either after or on Castor's patch that had Ling Shaw on it again. Yeah, exactly, Zyre Strong. How far can they push the bar with Castor? She's slow, so either her big ass dragon isn't as slow and does a bunch of damage, or she just nukes. Yeah, from what I've seen and what I'm assuming is that she's just a straight up nuke. I think that's really all there is to it. Like, she barely takes any turns, but when she does take a turn, probably like a milli plus every time she takes a turn, or something like that. Or her ult ends up being like an Acheron nuke, but even stronger than Acheron, obviously. Well, yeah, I think what really elevated Robin's value for like the future is the fact that they made it so that her ult would apply to summons. So because of that singular change, you can't even say that Robin is like not good in summon meta either. She's actually at minimum like a usable replacement as a Harmony for any future summon DPS. Solely because of that fact. So that one small change made Robin significantly more future proof. I'm not sure, Netherlord. I'm not sure. There was zero reasons to do that. I don't know why they decided to do that. I mean, hey, they get to milk Robin even more for more money. Yeah, only memo sprites, not summons. Sorry, only memo sprites, not summons. So any of the remembrance DPSs are completely fine. But any summon DPSs, I guess, don't get action advanced. They're basically the same shit if we're being honest. Hoyo just did that shit for no reason. I'm not gonna lie. They just didn't want to make Robin like that strong, I guess. So they just removed summons and made it memo sprite only. Like the black dragon that Castoris has, I'm pretty sure that counts as a memo sprite. So Robin's E2 or S1? Robin's E2 is speed, right? It gives like a 16% increase. Yeah, 16% increase in speed. Probably her light cone. If I remember correctly, I think her light cone probably has better value overall. I guess if you're like really struggling with speed tuning, you go for the E2. But otherwise, I think the light cone is just a better value. Yeah, exactly, JCOM. So like that one little change will now make Robin pretty viable in any Remembrance DPS team. I'm planning to pull for Castor since I lack any good quantum character. My seal is just Cope. I mean, to be fair, the other day I saw his seal Zero Cycle and MOC. I don't know the cost, nor do I know the relic investment, but I don't think I want to know. So, but I did see a seal Zero Cycle MOC. Yeah, you also have a light cones 75-25 and it's less pity. So, that too. When did you start playing? 1.6, I believe. Whenever Don Hung got his rerun. I think that's like 1.5 or 1.6. Then I like quit the game like halfway through Pentaconi and then I came back. Why are you pulling for elements? I'm not. Oh yeah, JCOM. It should be fine. I imagine it'll be fine. Unless Castoris has like some weird ass mechanic where like having a healer on her team, like similar to Acheron. Like you need a nihility to get like certain amount of damage, or else you lose out on too much damage. Like my only guess for the double sustain team that the leakers ran is that she has like some unique mechanic where she needs like multiple sustains on the team for most damage possible. Although all of this is guessing at the end of the day, I have zero fucking clue. But I do think a Sunday team will be fine with them. Seal can still compete with modern DPSs if your name's Zolza Telos. I'm gonna be honest. This is no shade. But every time I see a Zolza Telos video and she's using a DPS who usually isn't commonly used to clear endgame, it's almost always on a private server with some of the most disgusting relics I've ever seen in the entirety of the game. Like, I'm talking triple crit speed on every single fucking relic piece. And it applies to, like, all characters team-wide. Like, I just never take private server runs all that seriously. Like, I've literally seen... Like, I understand it's, like, her gimmick to hate on Firefly, but she made, like, a video or some shit on, like, how Firefly is absolutely terrible for APOC compared to, like, Boot Hill and Rappa and, like, the other ones, like, these other DPSs. And I already saw a Firefly get max score in APOC with Fugue. And apparently she was saying, like, it's absolutely impossible. Like, I have nothing against her. I just don't like watching content creators who have, like, a personal grudge against characters. Because then they're almost always biased. And I don't like biased. Like, I absolutely hate biased. It's just, like, a personal thing. I just think she's funny. Oh, yeah, 100% she's funny. I've seen a few of her videos. A few of them for sure. I just don't actually look at them for, like, direct comparisons to in-game performance because of the insane relic quality. They reran Silverwolf before Dr. Ratio and no one's pulling for her. Once again, I've been saying this for, like, months and months. The reason they don't rerun Ratio is not necessarily his value, right? Like, he's actually decently strong. In my opinion, he has more value than Silverwolf for sure. But it's just that the majority of players in the game already own him. So it would probably be one of their worst selling banners of all time if they just reran Ratio right now. I truly think either he'll be added to the standard banner in the future, or they're going to wait even longer for his rerun until there's actually, like, a significant amount of newer players, and then only, like, let's say 60 or 70% of people have him. Because I think currently there's, like, 90% of players in this game have him, or some shit like that. Is Wowo better than Fushuan for the Herda? Yes. I don't have a Venturine, so I was wondering which would be better. Yeah, Wowo's better. Because she, even if she can't, like, hit, like, let's say Fushuan's ult, like, it hits everyone, her ult giving energy regen as well as attack, I think is just straight up better. You have a bias against bias? Yeah, basically. Like, I've had people call me biased, right? And I'll admit, I used to be, like, slightly biased towards Firefly on my main account. But that was because it was literally the only DPS on my main account that had, like, any significance. Now that I'm on an account that actually has, like, multiple DPSs and characters, I have zero bias against any of these fucking characters. I love my Robin. I have zero issues if she gets power crept. I will fucking say it, right? Like, even now, in my previous videos, I speculated that Tribby could possibly end up being a better overall harmony than Robin. Fei Xiao, my current favorite DPS in the game, I'll easily say that she can be power crept by the future DPSs. I'd even argue, like, the Herda in 3.0 might be a better overall value in DPS over Fei Xiao. Like, I have zero bias for characters in this game, man. Well, you could say the only character I'm kind of biased towards is Sparkle, but in a bad way, right? But even then, I wouldn't even say I'm biased. Her pull value is just absolutely abysmal with Sunday's release. Like, if you have her, she does add value to your account. But if you don't have her, pulling for her is fucking, like, idiotic, right? Like, no offense. It's just not a bright thing to do. You know what I'm saying? As a Sparkle haver, she was benched as soon as I did Dill. You can use her to replace Branya, I guess. Yeah, but that's what Sunday's for. That's the issue. And even then, there's a lot of comps where, like, let's say Boot Hill, right? For Boot Hill, you almost always just put Branya instead of Sparkle. Like, almost every single time because of the 100% AA. Like, there's a lot of scenarios where if you have enough skill points, running Branya is better than Sparkle because of the better action advance. Like, do you understand how embarrassing that is? That in a lot of comps, you're a limited harmony and you get replaced by a standard harmony that came out at the beginning of the game? Like, jeez, man. Maybe Tribby will be a okay buffer for my day. Maybe. Maybe. We'll have to see. I'm curious what my day, like what relic set he'll want to use. Like, I'm kind of confused on that. Because he's imaginary destruction. So I'm a bit confused on what, like, his relic set will be. Like, what his optimal relic set will be, that is. Oh, nice, Blad. I'm glad I could save an innocent soul. The live stream did not get me excited. What, the recent one? I saw it. It wasn't really anything crazy. The only thing I really cared about was seeing My Day's in-game model from the trailer earlier. Like, that's honestly all I cared about. Everything else I didn't give a shit about. Koi. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The argument of making a DPS that's skill point hungry, making Sparkle meta again, goes completely out the fucking window if you have Sunday's Lycone. Like, I've seen people say, like, oh, then what if you put Sunday's Lycone on Sparkle? And it's like, are you real? Like, why would anyone put Sunday's Lycone on Sparkle when they can put it on Sunday? The guy who gives better action advance and better buffs. Like, hello? Why? He literally gives 20% energy on ult. Any energy DPS that you're pairing with Sunday is going to be automatically better if they require energy than with Sparkle. Like, I don't understand that argument. Like, just pull his light cone for Sparkle? Like, not why? Yeah, I know Link Shaw #1 Glazer. Nice name, by the way. Yeah, literally the only way to make Sparkle meta again is to make a quantum character who loses out on a shit ton of damage if they don't have like 3 quantum characters on their team, right? Like that's literally the only way, because Sunday's buffs already like more than make up for Sparkle's quantum attack buff from having multiple characters of the same team, right? Like his buffs are just significantly better than Sparkle's. Who do you think of everyone coming out as best to pull for? In terms of future proof, like 100% Ling Sha. And I guess currently, best value would probably be Robin. So those are the two I recommend the most. You back in Wuwa for the new patch? No, I'm not back in Wuwa for the new patch. What if I put Sunday's light cone on Branya and one in Tingyun too? Nice. I like Sunday with the Branya light cone. Branya's light cone is one of the most universal ones. Honestly, I wish I could get it instead of a S4 Clara light cone. Like, I just have nothing to do with an S4 Clara light cone. I just have to pray that my day likes Clara's light cone or something. Like, it's the second best in slot outside of a signature. That would probably be the best case scenario for me. Do you play Genshin or ZZZ? Nope. Do you think Robin is important for an account that doesn't need it? No. I've already said this before. When did I make the video? 4 days ago. There are no must pulls in HSR anymore. It's a video I made explaining that there are so many different niche comps in this game at this point that seeing one Harmony on a banner and insta pulling for them, even if they don't currently benefit your like account all that much, is no longer like a good thing. Like when Ruan Mei used to be the only limited Harmony in the game, it actually made sense because, well, she was the only Harmony. But at this point in the game, we have like 4 or 5 Harmonies with Triby's release soon. Like, I wouldn't say there's anyone you just see on a banner and you just insta pull them no matter what. Especially now that we're going into like a new arc of patches with 3.x. Like, I would not say Robin is like a must pull anymore. It just all depends on the characters you have on your account. What account doesn't need Robin? It's not what account doesn't need Robin. Well, actually, no, it is. It's the fact that Sunday is better in almost every single hyper carry scenario. HMC is better in every single, like, what's it called? Break scenario. Even in some comps, Sparkle is still a better option than Robin, just in some, right? Like, Robin is the best to pair if you run double Harmony, but with Triby's release, there's so many fucking Harmonies at this point. Like, Robin is not a must pull anymore. Like, you can use her in every team, or nearly every team, but not every team has her as the best in slot anymore. Like, that's my point. Like, when Ruan Mei was around, there was no fucking break teams. Like, you could do break effect, but there was no super break, so it was weak as shit. So every single team would use Ruan Mei as like the #1 Harmony at the time. Like, that's a must pull. When you're a Harmony who is best in slot and like damn near every single team in the game, then that's a must pull. But once Triby releases, there's gonna be a lot of comps that do not have Robin as their best in slot anymore. And going into the future, that number will probably only increase. So she's just not a must pull in my opinion. Uh, Is Sunday a better support over Robin for Herda? Honestly, I don't even know. From what I've seen, it's like incredibly fucking close. Because of the ult that Sunday gives on, or sorry, the energy he gives on ult, it's really useful for Herda. But I mean, I truly do not know Sunday versus Robin for the Herda. Like, I feel like it hasn't been enough comparisons for it. Best in slot doesn't mean a must though. Yeah, but literally, like, I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't think there's a single must ball in this game anymore. Like, I don't think Robin's a must ball. Like, if you're, like, you have to think about it. Imagine you're running break comp, or you already have Sunday, and you're running like a hyper carry comp with a boot hill, even without boot hill, any hyper carry team, right? Um, if you see Robin and Robin cannot benefit you at all, why the fuck would you pull for her? Like, this is the issue I'm getting to, right? If there is not a single comp on your account that can actually take advantage of Robin, or like you already have a Harmony who is fitting better in your main comp over Robin, why are you going to pull for her and let her rot in your account? Like, she's not going to benefit you. And we're getting new Harmonies literally right now. Like, how many Harmonies do we have in the game at this point that are limited? We have Sparkle, we have Sunday, and we have Ruan Mei and Robin, which is 4. So with Tribby, yeah, it'll be 5. Like, we just have way more Harmonies at this point in the game. There isn't a single must pull. Six, I guess, yeah. Like, not to mention, Sunday can also give technically better action advance by a significant margin on teams that only use 1 DPS, right? Like, what really makes Robin shine so much over Sunday is in teams where you're running, like, duo DPS, right? Like, you have follow-up, you have Fei Xiao in, like, March 7th, or you're using maybe, let's say, Moze or Topaz. Teams who use multiple characters at the same time who deal damage take better advantage of Robin. In almost any team where you only have one sole DPS, Sunday is the better choice over Robin almost every single time. And I don't call Sunday a must pull. So if Sunday's not a must pull for being the best in hyper carry scenarios, I'm not going to call Robin a must pull because she's the best in duo DPS scenarios. It's just unfair. Screwlum. Bro, I've seen people coping about Screwlum since the fucking, like, the beginning of 2.x. Like, since the beginning of 2.x, people have been saying, oh my god, we're getting Screwlum and Pentagony. Like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, we might have to give it up at some point. Like, at this far into the story, like, him even coming out in the first place is genuinely, like, not looking like very high chance. I don't know anything about a 300 resin cap. Exactly, Netherlord. That's my point, Netherlord. Like, you can still, like, Branya, or sorry, not Branya. Sunday and Robin is still, like, the best overall, like, double Harmony combo in a lot of comps. But there are a lot of teams where replacing Robin with someone else that better fits the niche will end up benefiting the comp more. Yeah, but I need more bullets. You can use this same argument, right? Applies to Ruan Mei. Like like Ruan Mei is the most universal harmony in the entirety of the game for the simple fact that she also fits in the break team as well as every other team in the game. But no one calls her a must pull because Ruan Mei is weaker in a lot of teams compared to like Robin and Sunday or Sparkle, right? It's no different here. We're now getting harmonies who are likely going to start being stronger than Robin overall. And there's going to be a lot of comps who can take better advantage of other characters over Robin. So I wouldn't call Robin a must pull either. Like, it's just a waste of a pull. Let's say someone's going for the HP scaling meta in 3.2. I'm not going to tell them to pull Robin. Like, why would I tell someone to must pull Robin just because she's on the rerun banner? Like, that isn't a smart idea at all. High likelihood that she doesn't even fit in there. And an even higher likelihood that Sunday will end up rerunning on Caster's banner anyways. Like, a must-pull character in my mind is someone who you pull, and no matter the comp you have on your account, your comp will receive, like, an actual significant buff. Like, no matter what team you have on your account, you insta-pull that character, and you gain a lot more value and clear everything quicker and easier. And the only harmony who that would even apply to is Ruan Mei. And nobody these days considers Ruan Mei a must pull anymore, really. Simply because of the fact that she's weaker than, like, Robin. And she's weaker than Sunday in a lot of scenarios. Alright, I'm skipping her for the third time, I guess. I mean, you don't have to skip her. She's still really, really good. In my opinion, she is currently, in my opinion, she has more value than Ruan Mei, right? Just my opinion. She has more value than Ruan Mei. The only reason Sunday is even lower than Robin right now is because we just now have dabbled our toes in Remembrance. Like, even currently in the game, like, with Aglaia, there is still not a single summon DPS who can fully take advantage of Sunday's buffs. So Robin is still above Sunday. But with more Remembrance DPSs coming out, I have, like, zero doubt that Sunday at some point will be on the level of Robin. And Robin can still benefit a lot of teams. Like, I myself pulled Robin in 2.5 because I wanted to make my Fei Xiao team stronger. Jing Yuan, no. Jing Yuan fucking sucks. Okay, we're talking about like a 1.x DPS whose buffs or like damage multipliers are like minuscule compared to even like the 2.x DPSs. I'm talking about like a 3.x DPS who's like a complete summon nuke who can actually take full advantage of like new damage multipliers. And if there's any way to show Sunday's value, it's how much he made Jing Yuan skyrocket. Like, Jing Yuan's value skyrocketed solely because of Sunday's existence. And he started performing like on the level of 2.x DPSs. All because of Sunday alone. That should show you just how big of a difference he can make if a 3.x sold summon DPS comes out. Because if you look at Aglaia, most of Sunday's buffs towards the summon are kind of wasted because Aglaia does most of the damage herself and not the summon. Do you think My Day will be break-focused heavy DPS? I don't think so. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a leak, right? The current speculated 3.1, either APOC or MOC, I believe, has a Hule with 0 toughness bar. Which makes me believe that My Day might not be break at all. We're supposed to get a Hule with literally 0 toughness bar. So unless they make a break character who can like ignore a character having 0 toughness bar, then I don't really see it. I see him just being an HP scaling character that like does on crit and shit. No, there is like a mechanic apparently. I saw in the turbulence or whatever it is for the 3.1 Hule that there is a way to do toughness damage. However, it's a very workaround way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think, considering My Day is the only DPS for 3.1, that they'd make a boss who counters him. Like, they'll almost always make a boss that can best take advantage of the 3.1 character. So you're saying that Blade is back? No. I don't think Blade will ever be back. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see how we're surviving Hule without Aventurine or Ling Sha. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. Yeah, I think like no matter what, he'll be an HP scaler and not a break scaler. And I don't think they do an HP break combo. Because then it would like get in the way too much. Like they'd only be one specific type. And the most likely type is HP. Especially with casters coming up. Like it just makes sense, right? Like you have an HP DPS or sub DPS coming out in 3.1. And then right after that you have like the main HP scaling DPS like fully releasing. Like it's very likely that My Day is going to have good synergy with Castris. Plus, we literally just had Rappa. Like, we literally just had an imaginary break character. Like, I don't see it happening. That would be like direct Rappa power creep, I'm not gonna lie. I love to pull Ling Sha, but there's speculation a new 5-star abundances in 3.0. Oh, yeah. There's supposed to be no preservation units, but we will probably get one new abundance within the 3.x patches. But keep in mind that their banner hasn't even been leaked yet, which means they're far as fuck away. Like, they are very far away from, like, current times. Like, at minimum, they'd probably come out in 3.3 or 3.4, which is really far away. So I guess if you want to wait that long, sure. But then again, no matter what, I think Ling Sha will keep being like the second best in slot abundance in the entirety of the game anyways. So either way, she'll hold her value. And if that leaked, like, Castris comp actually ends up being her most optimal team, which was My Day Castris and double sustain, then that would mean Ling Sha is still meta for that team. And you just run double sustain with the new one. Is it that pink Barbara looking character? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Ling Sha might even surpass Aventurine. I'd say at this point in the game, she already has. She's better in pure fiction than Aventurine. She's better in like break. Like she's the most universal sustain. You can't put Aventurine in a break team, right? Like, in my opinion, the value Ling Sha adds in her niche on the break team is more than Aventurine adds on the Fei Xiao team. And I don't think that's really even arguable. Like, Ling Sha on a break team does fucking insane amounts of damage. And on top of that, she's now the best on slot sustain for the Herda as well. So even now, it's already debatable whether Ling Sha is better than Aventurine overall. But once we hit 3.0 and further, I think Ling Sha is easily just the best overall value sustain in the game. Like, Aventurine's just less universal, and he can't do as much damage. Like, you can put Ling Sha on an Acheron team. Her ult does the fucking Befog state or whatever. Like, that's a debuff. Yeah, exactly. I need more bullets. Yeah, exactly. Like Ling Shaw's second best, easily replaced. Like you can replace Aventurine with Ling Shaw on the Fei Xiao team, and it'll still work well. Like if in almost every case scenario, she's either the number one DPS option or the or sorry, not DPS. Jesus, she's the number one sustain option or the number two sustain option, in almost every single team in the game, which no other sustain does. He's still bugged? Why have they not fixed it? What the fuck is wrong with them? Well, yeah. I'd say against Tule, Aventurine is obviously the best sustain possible. Like against Tule. Like that is like the one time he really does fully just shine over everyone else. But other than that, it's just Ling Shaw for the most part. Yeah, RN. Yeah. All three of those sustains can benefit the Herda. Those are like the three best. Oh, I see, Ward. Okay, Exio. I think what people were saying back then was that, oh, my Gallagher can sustain fine. So they didn't give a shit about Lingshaw doing way more damage than Gallagher because at that time specifically, Firefly could already like 0 to 1 cycle everything in the game. So they were like, oh, why should I pull Lingshaw? My break team is already really strong. I'll just stick with Gallagher. By the way, this type of thinking never works, right? You should always try to make your current comp as strong as possible unless you've already planned to go into a new comp, right? Because the argument that, oh, this character is too strong, so I don't need them, makes zero fucking sense, okay? The power creep in this game comes pretty quickly. So back then, people were coping saying that they didn't need the extra damage from Ling Shaw and that Gallagher could already sustain just fine. But Ling Shaw just ended up aging way better than anyone expected. Like she ended up being good for follow up, good for the Herda. She's gonna be the best for current like HP scaling characters. She's aged like fine fucking wine. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to keep in mind, Ling Shaw came out like only 2 patches after Firefly's release too. So at that time, it's completely fine to pull for like a an upgrade on your account, right? Like the only reason right now that Robin is not a must pull is because we're getting Tribby and we're going into like a completely different type of meta, right? That's the only reason. If it was Robin back in 2.2, I'd say instantly pull her. Even on her rerun in 2.5 with Fei Xiao, I'd say she was a must pull and I'd instantly pull her. But at this point in the game, like, not really. Yeah, exactly, Bruno. Like I've seen a lot of 3 cost Firefly teams zero cycle Svarog, including Firefly, which is nice because almost always you need an E2 Firefly to actually zero cycle shit because of the action advance. Like she just doesn't have someone who can action advance her. What do you think about the triple banners? Do you think it's a hard decision to pick up good units? I think it's going to be a hard decision for a lot of people because they'll have to decide which comp they want to go for the most, right? Like for a lot of people, when there's that many characters, you know they're not gonna rerun for like at minimum another 3 patches. So people are gonna have to choose between meta or getting a character they like more. And with how many characters are on those banners, I mean, jeez, man. Like it's really bad for free to plays and low spenders. For me personally, it's not a hard decision for me because I've already decided on all inning on my day, so I don't give a shit about 3.0 anymore. But before my day got drip marketed, I'm not gonna lie, I was stressing. I didn't know if I wanted Robin E1. I didn't know if I was maybe gonna go for a break comp and get Boo Hill. Like I truly did not know if I was gonna get like maybe the Herda. Like I just didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do, bro. There was so many options. Is Boot Hill worth this rerun? If you have Fugue, yeah. If not, just pull Fei Xiao. Fei Xiao is literally just a better hunt. Like I already mentioned this before, unless you already have an optimal team comp for Boot Hill, like why would you ever pull for him over Fei Xiao when they're on the same patch? It makes zero sense. I don't agree with that, Bullets. Someone said the same thing in my comments in my last video. But what people need to understand is that usually that only ever applied before because we had such little amount of comps and such little characters that people would usually get reran within 4 to 5 patches. And that's like a decently long time, right? But Fei Xiao specifically has been reran after only 3 patches from initial release. So even now, I'd say an optimal Fei Xiao comp will still take you throughout the entirety of 3.x. So like the logic doesn't really apply anymore if a character reruns that quickly, in my opinion. Not to mention, you can just get like an E1 Robin or some shit and instantly your entire Fua comp does 24% more damage. Like that alone could possibly make Fei Xiao keep up with like every 3.x DPS. Hello and Happy New Year. Thank you, Dark. Happy New Year to you too. Do you have a favorite character? My Day. Or Casterus. Those are my 2 favorite characters. If you're talking about like right now, it's Fei Xiao. Like right now, it's Fei Xiao 100%. But it's going to be My Day or Casterus when they both release. Good luck, Exio. I'll say this again. I think people are too worried about power creep, right? Like people really do overestimate power creep in this game. There are for sure some characters who do get power crept decently fast, right? But even then, power creep is power creep, right? It's gonna take a while for the enemies to actually start scaling so high to the point that pulling a character is genuinely just completely void, right? Like Dill, even after Acheron's release, was clearing endgame just fine for like 3 or 4 patches after Acheron's release, right? Like I don't think anyone's gonna deny that. That means he lasted like over a year without an issue, really. Like it's gonna be the same for like the Herda, like Fei Xiao, like all of these guys are gonna be the same. They're gonna struggle more in the end game, maybe, but you have to keep in mind that Fei Xiao is literally the #1 strongest DPS in the game right now. Like it's gonna be a while before she's actually like kicked down to the point that she can't clear endgame. Like that would be absolutely fucking abysmal. Oh yeah, bullets. Yeah, bullets. Yeah, I'd actually agree with you. Yes, Rerunning, getting Boot Hill on his rerun right now isn't like anywhere near as good of a pull as getting Fei Shao on a rerun. Not only is he weaker, but he's obviously just an older DPS. Plus, Boot Hill's Eidolons don't even scale all that well. Like, getting an E1 Bubbin, as Mr. Pokey says, is such a huge fucking, like, addition to your Fei Shao team. And on top of that, if there's ever, like, a future team, like, let's say a Summon or Remembrance DPS who wants to use Robin, you can just put the Robin on the new DPS, right? I think that's a big advantage the Fei Shao team has. You don't have to go for Eidolons on anyone except Robin. Like, just getting an E1 on Robin already makes a significant difference. Do you think Eidolons are a must pull? No. If I don't think any character is a must pull, I sure as hell don't think Eidolons are must pulls. I think there are for sure some Eidolons that if you're already going for Eidolons on a character, that are must pulls. Like, you have E1 Robin, E1 Ling Sha, honestly, is a really good E1 because it applies 20% defense down to every broken character on field or enemy on field. That's a really broken E1. So Robin and Ling Sha are the E1s that really stand out to me because they're both likely going to be decently future proof. And this is going to apply to like many teams in the future. Sunday's E1 is also really strong. If there's ever like a future Remembrance DPS who's similar to like Jing Yuan, but obviously way stronger. Because his E1 gives a summon 40% defense shred. Yeah, Radius, I agree. Like, if you're free to play to low spender, you usually only ever do E1 if you really want to make like a comp you really like future proof. Like, that's the only time it really makes sense. Like, if you want your Fei Shao team to last you throughout, like, the entirety of the 3.x patches without an issue, I'd say getting E1 Robin is actually, like, a decent choice. If you really just plan on not replacing Fei Shao for that long. It really all depends on, like, your personal, like, what you want. How long do you want to use the Fei Shao Fua comp? Something like that, right? Because a lot of people always ask me, like, what's the best thing to do? And at the end of the day, it almost always comes down to what they want to do, right? Do you want to make your current comp future-proof? Or do you want to invest in the new comps? It almost always comes down to that. Can you say there are Eidolons which are stronger than pulling a new character? In some comps, yeah. I think Robin's E1 is actually a good example of this. I genuinely think on the Herda comp, if you have E1 Robin, it probably makes a bigger difference than pulling for Jade and running her as the erudition on the Herda team. I genuinely think so. Because this isn't only buffing the Herda's damage, but it's also buffing the secondary edition's damage. So if you're deciding between like Jade or E1 Robin, I'd easily say E1 Robin, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she's a more universal support and she gives a bigger overall damage buff. Yeah, exactly, bullets. Like, when I say, yeah, like, I feel like everyone ranks meta on, like, just how broken they are at clearing the end game. If you really don't care about, like, the extra 60 Jades you get from, or sorry, like, extra, like, 1 or 2 pulls you get from, like, the last 2 floors of end game, then there isn't a single must pull in this game, and you should just pull whoever the fuck you want. Jade helps with the Herda's energy regen. Yeah, but Serval can already do that. Serval and Mini Herda can already do that, especially Serval. Serval can get her ult off like almost every fucking turn. Like it's not like Jade is special in that at all. Like she's obviously better, but she doesn't make enough of a difference to where it makes up for 24% team-wide res pen. That's my point. Yeah, exactly. Like the only benefit you get out of Jade is deck collector. And even then it doesn't make like, oh my god, this completely changes this comp, like change, right? Like it's not like Bubbin in the Facial team where you're losing out on a shit ton of damage without Robin. Like you can easily replace Jade and get similar performance. Like I've seen sustainless the Herda teams running like double erudition clear faster than best in slot optimal the Herda teams. With like Jade, Linkshaw, like literally the most optimal possible. And they perform worse than like a free to play sustainless team. Oh no, 100% Netherlord. I 100% understand that. There's a lot of people who prefer to invest in characters because you can just make more comps that way. Yeah, Jiaoqiu is a really nice quality of life for Akron. Can you explain how Serval can help with Herda? So from what I've seen, you put Serval on this light cone, which is after the wearer uses their skill, additionally regenerates 12 energy. And her ult, where is it? Her ult costs like no fucking energy. Like I'm talking about one skill and you make up more than half of her ult's energy. So because of this, almost every single time she takes a turn, she skills, halfway fills ult, then her next turn she can insta ult again. And her ult hits everyone on field, as well as her skill. So you have the skill hitting everyone, and then you have the ult hitting everyone. And the Herda regenerates energy the more mobs on field you hit. That's basically why Serval is so good. She can just regenerate energy so fast, since her ult is such low cost, that she can spam the ult over and over and over and over again. Because that's what really matters at the end of the day. Like, what the Herda needs the most is energy. Like, she has to get her ult off as much as possible so that she can get, like, that enhanced skill off. Thoughts about Jiaoqiu and Nihility future and thoughts about Anoxo leaks? I think for sure at some point the game will buff Nihility and make them meta again. However, what Nihility needs right now is just a straight up better DPS than Kafka. Like, they don't even need anything special. They just need a new main DPS. That's all Nihility has needed this entire time. Like, I don't know why it took them this long, but there is a decent chance that Anoxa ends up making Nihility meta again. What does Anoxa do? I don't think there's even any leaks on what Anoxa does. It's the only thing that's been leaked is that a lot of leakers have been saying that they're Nihility no matter what. So I have zero clue on anything like kit related. But yeah, reviving Dot this entire time would be just incredibly fucking simple. Like, you just replace Kafka and make a new main DPS for it. It would have instantly gone back to being meta. Or at least, even if not meta, like a really good, viable team, right? It's just the fact that they've been stuck with like a 1.x DPS this entire fucking time. Like imagine, I'd say the equivalent of this is imagine Firefly and like Rappa and Boot Hill. Imagine they never came out, and the only person who could take advantage of HMC was like Jue, right? Like we're talking like Jue and Himiko. Those are like the only two characters. Like that's what I imagine as like nihility. Like they're just stuck in 1.x with like a way worse character who cannot take full advantage of like the nihility team. Yeah, that's another thing. You can just wait for the rerun, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm quite confident that Castris will just be a better pull than Anaxa. So I don't know. I don't even know if it's a girl or a dude, but either way, he'll probably not have the best of banner sales, even though the design is really fucking sick. Nihility has Pela, so I think they're fine. uh, yeah, exactly, Radius. Like that's how I imagine it. Like just imagine the only character being able to take advantage of Super Break from the entirety of the game till now was like Jue. Like that's the equivalent of Kafka, bro. Mm. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I should have gone for E2. Actually, no. Because if I went for. The reason I didn't pull for E2 Akron was because then I knew I'd have to invest in Jiaoqiu as well. And I really wanted to go into the new comps that are coming out in 3.x. Because my Acheron is E1 S1. I was like, maybe I go for the E2 and I make her stronger, but then I realized, like, I need Jiaoqiu. And I don't want to invest, like, that hard into, like, an old comp. And that's the only reason I ended up giving up on E2 S1 Acheron. No, you skipped E2? Yep, I skipped E2 and then pulled Aventurine straight afterwards for my Facial team. The only reason I pulled Aventurine, though, in my defense, all the leakers have been saying that we won't get a single new preservation unit throughout the entirety of 3.x. So that was like the only reason I pulled for him. Like it doesn't matter if he gets power crept by an abundance sustain, because he's still going to be the best preservation sustain at least. Yeah, Radius. It's just not the best idea without Jiaoqiu. Exactly, Bullets. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like E2 S1 Acheron currently even without Jiaoqiu, like not really an issue clearing endgame. But it's about the future proofing, right? Like if you get Jiaoqiu, she'll 100% last like way longer. Which is why I decided I just wouldn't go for it. Because I didn't want to get Jiaoqiu. Like, let's all be honest, right? E0 as 0 Jiaoqiu, the moment I stop using my Acheron comp, most likely I'll never use Jiaoqiu again. Unless they make like some future DPS who can use Jiaoqiu. It's just highly unlikely. And I didn't want that to happen. If we get 5-star Yang Ching, you'll be solid. Uh, Alright, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I did say it was going to be a short stream in my defense, right? However, I do want to do some other things today. And I'm also a bit hungry. So thank you all for stopping by. It was really nice talking with you all. Happy New Year's. I hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great night.